Okay? So, all of you guys are filmmakers. How many films have been made this year by you guys? 1, 2, podcasters, anything like that? Right there? Okay, awesome. This is going to be, it'll be tips galore also. So please, get a pen and a paper if you don't know these tips already. If you do, let me know. Email me, michael@michaelcarascuolo.com, and I will do another tip that maybe you don't know. Let's get started. Tip number 1. We are in Final Cut, obviously. What we're going to do, if we want to start a new project, and you want a brand new open project, because usually when you open a project in Final Cut you were working before, it'll remember what you did last time. Quick tip, hit the shift button when you're launching Final Cut Pro, and it'll run through the process. Boom, there you go. Brand new, fresh, you can start your project. Immediately, go ahead and save your project. Name it something very cool, like Shift Tutorial, if you can spell. If you can't spell, do like me and just say Shift Toot. There you go. Next one. What you want to do. This is probably more than I'm supposed to do, but this is great. This is the first one we're doing here. So, we're not going to do the software update. Unless you need that as a tip. You want to use as many function keys as you possibly can. You want to make your edit workflow fast. You want to get through the story. You want to tell your story. You want to do it at the speed of thought. You want to get everything done, your ideas that are on paper and your script, you want to get them edited. So how do you do that when you're doing your Final Cut stuff? You want to turn off expose. Why? Because it always comes default right here with F9, F10, and F11. You need those keys. Those keys are hot keys. You need those to move media. How are we going to move media? I'll show you how we move media. We're going to go to my example folder where I did the Shift tutorial. Now I'm doing tutorial number 2. It's going to launch. This is the exciting part. Now, if you see, we have the 4 windows: the viewer, the canvas, the timeline, and the bin. What we want to do, let's say we're working on our story, or we have our story, we have our DV tape captured, or we have our flip cam. There's a camera right there. That's what I use to do my HD stuff. You could use one of those. Anything. Bring your footage in. We're going to try to do this without using a mouse. This is how we should start editing. We should try to start thinking about how do we do this fast. Viewer, canvas, timeline, bin. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So if you want to get through a lot of things, you go to the control, or what is this? Yeah, the command key. It's the Apple key. What you want to do is, let's say we want to go to the timeline. We go Apple 3. Notice it's highlit. Let's say we want to go to the bin. We go to Apple 4. You see or the browser, whatever you want to call it. Right here you'll see it turns a light color. If we want to pick up footage, and we're in the browser, you hit the page up or page down keys, and this thing's falling off again. Sorry. Maybe I have big ears or something. Or maybe this is hacked. Okay. Page up or page down, you want to select one. Let's say we want to select that one. We'll start there. First one, you hit enter. Opens it up in the viewer. Ready for this? Everybody writing this down? If you want to scrub through footage, in the window that's highlit, always check the top bar. It'll be a light color as opposed to all of them, which are sort of grayed out. You want to scrub through the footage, you hit L to go forward, and it doubles up each time. So 3 times, you go by really quick. You want to stop it, you hit K. Okay? You want to go backwards, you hit J. 3 times, it goes really fast. Once, it goes really slow. There you go. Let's say, for our edit purposes, we want to go right here. There's our endpoint. And we know we're going to go down and look at this beautiful little section of the city, and we want to stop here. I is your in point. O is your out point. There's your clip. There's where you start. So what do you do next? Remember when I told you to shut off expose and everything so you can get your function keys? How do you bring that footage in the viewer into the timeline? Not like that. Let me just say, in a laptop, you hit the function button, then you hit the function key. Otherwise, you just hit the function key. It's awesome. And it works. There you go. From the viewer to the timeline without touching a mouse.
Cool.
Okay? Let's say we want to go back again.
Which function?
Function, what was it, F10? Sorry? Yes, F10. Sorry, my bad. Function F10 gives you the overwrite key. It's the red one right over here in this little spot. You see it? Right here? Overwrite key. What does the overwrite key do? It overwrites a piece of footage. We can show you that. I might not have enough time.
1 more minute.
Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to go grab another one. So how do we do this without the mouse? We go to Apple 3. Apple 4, sorry. Then we go through the footage, hit enter. There's another piece of footage. Let's say we want to grab, okay, right about there, there's our out. Function F10, there's our second shot. Notice, when we put it there, it dropped it right where the playhead was. So always keep mind of where that is. Because in 3-point editing, check this out. Let's say you want to fit a piece of footage in that little hole. You go to the timeline, so it's Apple 3. You go to the in button, you set your in point. You go to the out, you set your out point. Now you have your little spot where you're going to fit another piece of footage. How do you get that? Apple 4, you scrub to the next, you go to the next clip, find a little spot for it. There's your in, there's your out. Actually, you know what? Let's not have an out, let's just have an in. What we're going to do is, because Final Cut knows that there's an in and an out in the timeline, and it knows where the in point is on the viewer, it should drop it right in between that little hole. Function F10. There you go. We just dropped this in point right here, right against this, where our in point was. There's our out point. There you go, 3-point editing. That's it. Thanks a lot, guys.
Wait, question.
Yep.